It's Brian Baumgartner. He's got a new book out. It's called Welcome to Dunder Mifflin, The Ultimate Oral History of The Office.
Yes.
We were mid-conversation, so let's just pick it up. You were noticing how beautiful this studio is.
Yes. No, for anyone who sees pictures or watches this place, it is as disappointing as you would expect it to be.
Well, really, it's a very clean studio. Just
Clean?
Like 20 hours a day. It's clean, and then before we have a guest, we have Billy just come in here and fuck everything up.
Oh, okay.
So it looks messy. It's like a bit that we do. We actually are very tidy people.
We've learned through the years that if we try to clean ourselves up, then people will start taking us seriously, and that's a disaster.
No, that's not your brand.
Yeah, because if you walked in, are you doing the rounds today? Have you gone?
I'm doing the rounds.
Did you do Good Morning America?
Today's show.
Yeah. Okay. Are those interchangeable? Yeah, they are. Okay, because I always ask. Yeah. And I always get it wrong. I'm like, for my life asking a guest if they've done
I
it.
typically am, but today I'm aware.
Okay, so the Today Show, you did it. It's beautiful. It looks nice. It's clean.
Yeah.
And then you come in here, and we get you to bring down your, feelers like these guys are just.
Yeah.
Are we even taping anything?
It's relaxed.
Yeah.
This is relaxed, though. I appreciate that.
So just like a couple guys talking here, what's the biggest sex scandal in the history of The Office? Like, we're not.
Yeah, we're not even taping.
Yeah, this is just basically just
you could
locker room.
There's
on camera or off camera?
One of both.
Ooh.
Oh, well, no, the on camera, that's known,
that's
right?
Dwight, yeah.
There was a cuckold, right?
Yeah.
Andy was the cuckolded. Cuckolder?
He got cucked.
Cucky.
Yeah, he got cucked.
Yeah, he
cucky.
did, for sure.
Yeah.
That would be it.
Who do you hate the most?
On the show?
Yeah. Off camera.
Off camera?
Again,
who do I
this
hate
is
the most?
just.
We're
did the Today Show, and this is just.
Yeah.
I mean, there's dip spit. There's
probably
coffee cups. Like
probably
you just say it.
Yeah, probably Carell.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a diva.
No.
Did anyone become a diva?
No, that's the crazy thing. And I think, actually, I don't know, is this like Barstool or something? I don't know. We were just a bunch of idiots, like unknown on this show. They're looking for unknown people, right? And so we get on, and even people forget, like Carell, the little movie, 40-Year-Old Virgin, that wasn't until season 2. So
right.
It was like nobody was known. No one had that attitude. And I think it was all of us kind of like coming up together.
Yeah.
It would be like your brother or something. It'd be like, what? Shut up. You're not going to act like that.
Yeah.
There was none of that.
You guys all became more famous together. But what about at the end? Was the end? I've always wondered this about The Office because one of my favorite shows of all time. And most hardcore fans say, the end, when Steve Carell leaves, I think actually there's some very funny moments after he left. But the ending of it, was it's time to go, this is good? Or were there a lot of people who were like, why can't we just keep going?
Honestly, it really was like it's time to be done. And here's why. There's actually a very specific reason. Because there was conversation, we talk about this in the book, Welcome to Dunder Mifflin, available in bookstores today. No, that it could have, like, I called it ER'd. We could have ER'd it.
Yes.
Right? Like Clooney leaves, you bring in whoever came onto ER. I don't know. But, like, it went 20 years, ER did. So it could have done that. Like, John Krasinski could have gone and, become Jack Ryan or whatever. And different people could have left. Some could have stayed. But Greg Daniels had an idea of the end of the show from the very beginning, which was the documentary has to air, right? So this thing that we've been shooting for 9 years, has to eventually air. And once it airs, it's almost like a commentary on reality television, actually, right? Because once you see yourself on television, everything changes. Mm-hmm. So the show couldn't really exist in the same form once everybody would have to be aware of how they were perceived, which we explore a little bit at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So the idea, just to wrap up that point, was basically we want as many of the original people to be, like Mindy Kaling had gone to do the Mindy Project and Steve had left, but most of the original people were there. And so to tell that story, those people had to be there to sort of see the ramifications of their idiocy over 8 years.
To maybe watch some of them, if it had been extended, some of them probably would have become more diva-like. than they even were, because they're, like you said, they're seeing themselves on TV.
That's right.
You don't act the same in front of a camera after you're already watching yourself on TV.
Right, unless you work for
before.
Barstool.
Yes.
And then you all just act like the idiots you
Well,
are.
again, none of these are on right now. So
right.
this is
Never
just
air
exists.
anything.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
Dave built this office just as a shrine to him. No actual content is going out of it.
Oh,
whatsoever.
okay. I thought I'd seen some stuff, but maybe not.
It would be funny if you did another season where it was post everyone realizing that they're stars, kind of like a Real Housewives, when everyone just season 2, everyone gets divorced,
Right.
And they have this this little bit of famous, and they latch onto it.
Right.
That would actually be a very funny spin-off show of everyone being like, yeah,
now I'm a big,
Kevin Malone NFTs and try.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's I can't remember if we've ever talked about this before, but I try to avoid Reddit at all costs and going down the Reddit the dark hole of Reddit. But there's apparently and I've seen the chains that Kevin Malone is a secret genius. Have you heard this before?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So the basis for and this gets into your point slightly, but the basis of this, and people pull evidence like minute little glances to camera from early on. And like, he's a gambler, and how does he, and then he gets fired and suddenly he owns a bar.
Yeah.
So that is an unaired storyline, how he has the bar. I'm going to fill you in on this. It's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Ready? So the idea is that once the documentary airs, Kevin Malone becomes the fan favorite of people watching. I have in my office at home, like, my face as a cartoon and like Kevin rocks and all this stuff, right? So there became this movement of Kevin Malone being a fan favorite. And partly based on my own experience in the world, I can't go into a bar and not be offered a drink. From they want to have a drink with Kevin Malone. So the storyline is shot but not aired that Kevin Malone goes into bars. Everybody wants to buy him a drink. There's a particular bar in Scranton, Pennsylvania that he goes in all the time. And he has accumulated such a credit at that bar from people buying him drinks that he uses that as leverage to own the bar. That is a true written story that was shot. And the finale was like an hour and 45 minutes already, and they're like, all right, we have to cut that.
That's
it still
incredible.
makes sense. But that's it.
I really was wondering, like, how did you end up owning that bar? You own Poor Richard's, the place, the watering hole everybody used to go. And I do kind of subscribe to the Kevin Malone is... I don't think a secret genius. I think he is a genius. I think he's a savant because, yes, he was a terrible accountant, but he was also a great gambler at times when it came to like doing certain percentages with cards. You can't be dumb and be a great poker player. So was it just that in your mind, Kevin Malone was that unengaged at work that he just didn't give a shit?
In part, but also like there's the whole phrase is idiot savant, right? So like here's the greatest. I didn't hear about this for years, right? I think the idea of this with Kevin started the basketball episode. I played basketball. That was not edited. That was real live. That was actually one take two of me making, I don't know, 13, 15 footers, free throw line extended. But so that there were like weird skills that he had. He had the poker series bracelet. So here's the greatest insider writer's joke of all time. The writers, didn't even tell me. They chose Scrantonicity, a Police cover band, to be his band. And specifically chose him to be the lead singer and drummer of this band. I didn't know this. I am not a musical genius, but apparently in the Police, there's the beat, but the singing occurs off of the beat from where the normal drum beat is. So you would have to be a musical savant to be able to play drums and sing at the same time.
Yeah, because his singing, the vocals were based around Sting, who was playing the bass.
That's incredible.
So it'd be something that he could sing easily, not what's his name, Copeland was playing on the drums. I'd never thought about that. But
you understand it.
I love it.
I didn't even know, but yes, so he was also a musical savant.
Okay.
That's incredible. I mean, that's just a testament to people, being diehard fans of the show and loving the show so much that they then watch it again and watch it again until they find out some storyline that maybe is real.
Right.
that you're saying might be real.
Right.
But they perceive it.
I think it's great that they've got. It's kind of it goes to show you what a well-crafted show it was overall. That the writers were having so much fun that they were thinking about these little extra jokes that they could put in there.
Oh, yeah.
It really adds to the fullness of the show and makes everything else like there's an entire world that they created.
Yeah.
For themselves.
So the book.
Yes.
How long did it take you to write this book?
I don't know. Should I say like 10 years?
Yeah, say 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. No, I mean it's been essentially 2 years since the beginning to today. I don't know when people are hearing this, but today. No, tomorrow. Today, yesterday, whatever. It's freaking out. I actually just found out I signed like 7,000 books. We just sold out today of the signed
Oh,
copies
wow.
of books.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Okay.
You should say that
Breaking
you wrote
news.
it like during the pandemic, like how we got King Lear
Yeah.
from Shakespeare
It's a pandemic
during the
book.
Black Plague.
Yeah.
Now we got Welcome to Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah.
That's right. Honestly, this was, well, the show was big when it was on, right? And there's fans who watch it. It was a rabid kind of cult following, though, right? Like it wasn't like Friends when it was out in terms of just like mass media production, whatever. And then the numbers started coming out about the streaming stuff. And I started walking into restaurants again and airports and going like, this feels different than it ever has. And the basic gist is, so this was 2 years ago, so 7 years since we have filmed anything. It's the most watched show on television, right?
Damn.
I was just heard the other day, people talk about Squid Game, Succession, more people are watching The Office now. Now it's been 8 years since we filmed anything than anything else on television. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was like, why? What the fuck happened? Like, how is it? Like, what happened? Like, how is this possible?
I'll tell you how. It's tremendously rewatchable. Like it is. I watched it when the pandemic happened. I watched it again, full start to finish, and I still will pop. Like it is the perfect show that. And I think a lot of TV watchers fall into this trap now, where you have anxiety of what am I going to watch? What am I going to watch? Like, what do I want to invest 2 hours of my night into? And The Office is like, well, let's put on The Office and we'll figure out after one episode. And then it becomes like 10 episodes you're watching The Office.
Right.
And that's just what you're watching.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think, does The Office bring you comfort?
Yes, definitely.
Except for the volume of the intro song. Which I think I talked to you about that last time. Did you get to chat with anybody
I haven't
over at Netflix?
No, I haven't.
Over like 3 bars. It's so loud. The rest of it's great though. Yeah, it does. It's like Big Cat said, it reduces anxiety watching it.
It also, I think it brings comfort. Now, a little less now because this job at Barstool is, for the most part a joke. We have a lot of fun all the time. But I think a lot of people, I remember when I first watched it, I was in college still. And I remember being like, I wish I could just find a job where it seems like people have fun. You know what I mean? And obviously you guys, it's a TV show. But I think there is that comfort to it too. Like making corporate America or the job that you might not love, trivializing it and being like, look, you can have fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where some of the comfort comes from.
I think so too. And, not to go too deep, but I think that there's also there's like the surface thing, right? Which is like Michael Scott says horribly inappropriate things. There can be some snideness. It's kind of subversive in a way, which I think is why partially it appeals to younger people, that sort of subversive thing. But I think also, and this is part of reading the book and talking to, I talked to 44 people and recorded over 100 hours of interviews with people about this. But one of the things I think is that in the end, it's kind of about love and creating a family, right?
Yes.
And whether it's the Barstool family or wherever it is, and that search for people when they're going through a hard. And I asked you that question because this is when I'm out and about, and people will not just come up to me to like say it randomly, but they have this like intense need to tell me about a really bad time in their life that they watched the show and it made them feel better.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, that feeling of love, I don't know if love is the right word, but like kindness, family building,
community, togetherness, and like it being in an office together and like caring about your coworkers.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It didn't matter which character it was, but there would always be a time when somebody would have something serious going on in their life. And there would be jokes all around, written around the episode. But like in the storyline for Kevin, when he was worried about the skin cancer and he was
Right.
waiting to get the call back, there's ridiculous stuff going. You're like at the ice skating rink, Michael Scott's just like, flying around out there,
Right.
acting like a fool. But then you see there's always like a few shots of everybody rallying around that person, making sure they're okay. It happened with every character, even the characters that were probably the least likable to their coworkers, like Dwight.
Right.
There were times when people like lined up behind him.
Right, like Pam and
support.
Dwight, that relationship between the two of them, weirdly, that they bonded. Yeah, no, totally.
I think it's a lot about just understanding that even if you're in a very boring job where your job is to literally sell paper and count paper, the
Right.
most boring thing that you can possibly sell probably, there's still like there's a reason why you can still have moments of joy and you can
Yeah.
find family and relationships inside that office.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
everyone goes through that. at their
Yes,
job. Yeah.
absolutely. So in the book, you talk about how every morning you guys had to method act your job.
Yeah, so this is actually, and it was one of those things where when I started talking to people, someone reminded me, and I was like, oh, yeah, because it had been a really long time. But this is like, think about, network, monolith, corporation, money, bottom line. So the first season, right, we would all show up. So having to show up to work earlier than we would ever be used on camera. Everybody get ready. And then at, say, 7 a.m., generally, we would go into the office and the cameras would just walk around for 30 minutes and film us.
And you just work like
Just
fake
like we were
work.
working. Fake work, fake phone calls, going to the copier, doing copies. Like a lot of the images actually in the credits. So like Kevin on the adding machine and Dwight with the shredder and like the copier going and stuff like that were kind of pulled and used, but like very, very not 30 minutes a day. And I had this conversation with Ken Kwapis, who directed the pilot, and he said, look, so many pilots, first shows, everybody's trying to get to know each other. We're trying to introduce this whole story and everything's happening and it feels new. And he was like, this has to feel like everyone has been working here for decades.
Yeah.
Or at least a decade
Yeah.
or whatever. That this is where that your chair has your body imprint in it already, right? There's
Yeah.
no, where's the phone? There's no newness. And so that, like, we would just work truly. Like fake sales
Genius.
calls, passing notes, passing papers, walking through. And I think just that time and all of us, not just for that, but all the other time. I mean, this is a hugely unique thing, right? Which was, there were, I'm not going to count right now, and we know I can't, 12 actors that were in the main bullpen of the office in there all the time. There's no fake walls.
Right.
They would shut the doors. There'd be 2 camera guys, 1 sound guy, and all of us in the room. So like in terms of, improving off of each other, working off each other, learning from each other, different skill sets. Oh, if I say this to him, this is a layup. Like all of that stuff happened because we were just together.
Right.
All the time.
That's awesome.
I also have to wonder how that would have gone if you had all been established actors at the start of the show and the director's like, hey, can you come in an extra, 2-3 hours early and just hang out and pretend that you're in an office for a while? I wonder the fact that you guys were all kind of new and starting something together, if you were like more receptive to doing that.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, probably because everybody was on board. There was no like, I truly don't remember any questioning or like oh, or anybody saying like, I don't want to do that or nothing like that. Yeah.
Did Ricky Gervais ever show up after? I know he's executive producer in certain times. Was he actually involved in the creation of any storylines or anything like that?
So he made an appearance on the show as an actor. He would show up occasionally. He and Ricky wrote an episode. This is like scratching the cobwebs of my brain. I think it was the Convict episode, which is shortly after the Andy Bernard and they came over. We were eliminating actors one by one once
Yes.
the branches merged. So yeah, I mean they were around some. Stephen Merchant ended up directing 1 or 2 as well, but largely no. And they actually, for the book, I interviewed Stephen Merchant, and he talked about, he thought, because what was happening at this period of time is that British shows that were brought over were all failing, right? They were all failing. and Steven said he thought the smartest thing that he and Ricky did was leave it alone. Like, we shouldn't pretend to know the cultural references that are funny or whatever in the United States. Like, let's let them do it. And they feel like them staying out of it actually helped.
Yeah.
Make it more purely American.
Yeah, I believe that. All right, so I know you got to do a couple other.
Is this a
interviews.
gimp back here in the closet? Like, what is the? Do you hear that
The
banging?
sound, no,
yeah,
that's the pipes.
yeah.
There's air in the pipes.
Oh, okay.
And
It
for
just
some
adds
reason,
to, again, we
built a
we haven't even
studio
turned on the cameras
on
yet.
the pipes.
Yeah. All right, so my last question, you go to Roback, RHOBACK, use code PFT for 20% off your first purchase. Performance Q-zips, polos, everything at roback.com. Best stuff out there. Do you think Aaron Rodgers should be in jail or prison for holding a super spreader event every Sunday and willfully lying to the public about his vaccination status? Thoughts? And should he have to strip his Super Bowl away?
Oh, strip his Super Bowl away
Yeah.
from 2010?
Yes.
11?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, good. All right, so we're on the same
Yeah.
page.
Would
Good.
you like,
Yeah,
as a Packers, are you an owner as well or just a fan?
I am just a fan.
You could buy some stock today.
It's today.
Is it today?
You
Yeah,
want me to
it's
buy
today.
you a share?
Yes, buy me a share right now.
Yeah.
I'll
Right now,
I'll buy you a share if you disavow the Packers for cutting Blake Bortles. No. Why did you do that to Blake? He's our friend.
I like Blake.
Yeah.
I
Did you-
know Blake. I like Blake.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Well, then you would stop rooting for the Packers.
Listen to me.
I'm worried.
Worried about what?
So Aaron Rodgers just tortured me,
Yeah, no, I know.
and I'm worried.
They're great, by the way, the Bears. They're so good. They're so fun to watch.
Listen, Justin,
they're so fun
Justin
to watch
Fields
too.
versus Jordan Love for the next 20 years. Sign me up for that. I'm worried. I think the Packers are actually going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I do too. I do
Yeah,
too. You
it's
heard it
actually
here
a
first.
lock. It's a lock.
No, now you're trying to jinx.
No,
I
I'm
saw,
not.
No, I saw it in
I'm
your
a great
eyes.
gambler.
I
Everyone
saw it in
knows
your
my
eyes.
locks never lose. I'm 1-0 in Game of the Years this year.
It's not that good.
1-0? You can't be better
1-0?
than 1-0. Game of the year? How many games of the
5-0
years?
is significantly better than 1-0.
How can you have 5 Game of the Years?
Oh,
I'm
good
1-0
point.
in my
But everybody
one
has a
game
game of the year
Does
every other
everyone
week.
win their Game of the Year?
No, I'm saying every other week. What was your game of the year?
It was Pitt versus UNC last Thursday night. No big deal. Easy winner. Took overtime and also like a monsoon to show up at the perfect time for it to win. But yes.
Okay.
So I win all
Congratulations.
my locks. The Packers are a lock to win the Super Bowl.
I really like the way that they. I mean, I believe you discount the game that Aaron missed, which I know you can't do. But if you set that aside and you acknowledge, as I think now it's hard not to, that the first game of the year was an aberration.
Right, so you're setting aside the Chiefs game. You're setting aside the fact that Aaron Rodgers didn't get vaccinated and lied to everyone. You're setting those things aside.
Yeah. And I'm saying that they have looked the best team in the NFL this year.
I'd agree.
Their defense is
I'd
just
agree.
what sets them apart from old Packers teams. Like the defense is Super Bowl level at this point.
I saw a
And
stat.
I would buy you a share of the stock. Unfortunately, it says that it's non-transferable. So if I buy it, I can't then give it to you.
You can't give it to me?
I can't
Yeah.
give it to you. Once you're in,
You'd
blood
be
in, blood
fined.
out.
You can't put it in my name?
Nope.
Nope.
You're lying.
Maybe there's a curse
They
on the
just don't wanna-
Packers now. What else? Any other NFL thoughts?
Actually, that would be
I mean, they
that's a
are
great
very
story.
good.
I became an owner and they won the Super Bowl. That's a good story.
For who?
For
For me.
For you personally.
It's a
for
great
your
story
life.
for you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great story
Yes.
for me.
Okay, all right, let's do story time. You become an owner, Aaron Rodgers gets hit by a bus. That's a great story for me, personally.
It's really now you're pushing it.
Well, I mean, I
went with you
you
at
didn't know
first.
my
I didn't argue
injuries.
with
I didn't
you.
tell you the injuries
Oh,
yet.
what were your injuries?
He can never walk again. I think the Packers are very, very good this year. I saw a stat that was like the only times they've ever been top 3 in defense, and it was a list of all the times they've won the Super Bowl. And
They've
they're
won
top
more
3
than
in
3.
No, I'm saying top 3 in defense in that year.
Right.
2010, 96, and then it was whenever, those are fake Super Bowls anyway, 1 and 2 or whatever.
Okay.
Those
yeah.
don't actually count.
No, they don't count.
Yeah. But
Except
yeah, they're very, very
they
good.
do.
Are
Yeah.
you? I'm assuming you're enjoying every moment of this season.
I really, really, really am. And in fact, I posted, the director was there. I had a movie. I had a festival movie thing come out, and I went to this was the Arizona game. I went to the red carpet, and I took pictures, and I said hello to everyone, and then the screening happened, and I went burp and walked back out, went to the bar that was next door.
I appreciate that.
Watched the game, and then the game was over, and I went in and did a Q&A afterward.
I appreciate that so much. I feel like a lot of actors kind of lose like they're fans, but it's like not I want to watch every game fans.
Right.
And I love that you're an every game fan.
Then that was a big game.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, Devontae out. That was
Yeah, it was an impressive
crazy
win.
ending,
great
too.
win.
It was an impressive win.
Great
Insane.
win.
And are you going to go to the Super Bowl?
In Los Angeles,
Yeah.
if the Packers are in it, yes.
Okay.
That's an easy answer.
See you there. Yeah, we'll see you there.
If not, then I don't know. Then
No, I mean, they'll
depends
win.
on what
Aaron Rodgers doesn't lose NFC Championship games.
Shut up.
It's all I have. It's all I have. It's all I have.
The Bears are so good this year.
They're getting better. Okay.
Are they?
They're in the hunt.
Are they getting
Justin
better?
Fields is getting better. That's all that I'm compartmentalizing the entire season.
See, I'm jaded against him, by the way.
Why?
I'm jaded against him.
Why?
He doesn't know this, and not really. I'm fake jaded. I grew up in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I'm a University of Georgia
a dog.
fan.
Yeah, former dog.
Yeah. He couldn't wait his turn.
Oh, so you're going to win the national championship and the Super Bowl this year?
Sick him.
Look at
Woof,
that.
woof,
Whoa.
And the
Georgia's
World-
very good.
And the World Series.
Yeah, but I can't take credit for that. And
Yeah.
I've had people now
very
say,
humble
well,
of you.
you can take credit for that. No, because I mean, like, I can't enjoy it because I'm a huge baseball fan.
Yeah.
Huge. And I get shit. I'll ask you your opinion about this. A huge baseball fan. I did theater for years and years, traveled around TBS. The Braves run
Yep.
TBS. I'm a Braves fan from it. I mean, I was hardcore Braves fan. Then I moved to Southern California and said, I'm not leaving Southern California. And at that point, this was like in between TBS and when you could watch every game on the planet, now on the MLB thing. I couldn't watch the game. I'm like, what am I going to go back? My parents moved away from Atlanta. My sister moves away. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I love baseball. First thing I did is I got tickets at Chavez Ravine, and I became a Dodgers fan. I just was like, I want to go, and I'm going to invest in the team.
You're
I'm going to root for the team.
Yeah.
I'm a what?
Seam head.
It's an expression
love
for
baseball.
a giant baseball fan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm a Dodgers guy now. I mean,
So
like,
you
because I
can't take credit. That's fair.
Yeah, so I
think
can't
that's
take
fair.
credit for the Braves.
Yeah, but you are going
Not
to win.
credit, that
You're
was
going to
the
win the Bulldogs are going to win, and the Packers are going to win. You also
hope so.
don't. You get to wear the same G on everything you.
Isn't that work out?
Yeah,
well?
our
is nice.
producer Bubba, who's colorblind, wouldn't know which team, which day of the
You
week
don't know
it
which
was.
one this is?
You wouldn't know which day of the week it was, depending on what hat you're wearing.
It's gray. They're always gray.
It's all gray.
All right. Well, Brian, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Everyone go by Welcome to Dunder Mifflin, the ultimate oral history of The Office. We love the show.
This is like the perfect holiday present.
It
right
is.
here. If
Do you
know
guys
anybody
plan that?
It
likes
is. No, well, two things. One, I'll tell you this because I think this is what is cool about actual books. Because people are like, books? But
Yeah, no, that's what we say.
We
Yep.
went through. I went through thousands and thousands of pictures that were like in the basement collecting dust.
Picture book.
And so there are over 100 pictures in the book that have never been seen anywhere before.
You should have said that from the start.
Yeah.
Just
a
be
pic-
like,
it's a
hey,
picture
guys,
book.
pictures.
There's a color.
It's a picture book.
Guys, you like pictures? It also has, I'll say this right now, very big text. The pages, you can read a lot of pages quickly.
I'm just gonna say right now that is the perfect bathroom book.
Bathroom book?
This book was meant to be read in the bathroom.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a compliment.
Yes.
Thank you.
That
I-
actually
it's
is
the
the
only.
highest
It's
of
the only
compliments.
place that I read.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's the highest of compliments.
Yes.
There it is. Go buy it, though. Thank you. You're always welcome back.
I thank you. It's nice to be in here. Now I'll have better expectations next time about what my surroundings will be.
I think actually the nice part about doing this car wash here is the studios get cleaner and cleaner as you go. So this is the worst it's going to get.
I love it.
Yeah. You're just going to keep going up from here.
There is, by the way, guys, just to be clear, can we zoom in on that? There is a stack of laundry.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Just dirty clothes.
No, it's not
This
dirty.
is the thing.
Well, you caught us in an office.
listen,
In my-
I
it's
just
in the
want to
middle
say
of my
this. This is what I'm.
groceries.
When I talk about the studio, it doesn't have to be fancy. I'm looking at. There's just dust bunnies everywhere. I mean, just everywhere.
Sounds like you're judging.
There's dirty clothes.
Sounds
and
like you're judging.
there is a stack of cables unplugged into anything. Mm-hmm. So
Those are very important.
You never know.
You
There you
never
have it.
know.
And these smell clean.
Yep.
Ish.
They look
Smell-
clean.
That one smelled clean.
all right.
Yes.
I
All
need
right.
I need to get some Barstool gear before I leave.
Yeah.